The cold winter weather is coming, and the team at Peerless Boilers, they're ready to help you prepare for this season. It's time to make sure your home is nice and warm for the cold weather. Save loads of money on your fuel bill. Do it now before it's too late and you've got a mess on your hands. Start thinking about replacing your old beast of a boiler with a new high-efficiency Peerless Boiler. Go to peerlessboilers.com, pop in your zip code, and you'll find a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers, and proud sponsor of Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
Monday morning, you sure look fine. Friday, I got traveling on my mind. First, you love me, then you fade away. I can't go on believing this way. I got nothing but love.
Big morning here in the courts in New York. Once again, jury selection begins in the Daniel Penny trial. Daniel Penny, a hero Marine who went out of his way and put his own life in danger to save a bunch of subway riders in New York when he subdued this Jordan Neely guy, this drugged up, and guy was just a bad guy, threatening to kill people on the train. And only in New York can a person like, well, I shouldn't say that. What happened in Los Angeles, too, Atlanta, Chicago, all these Democrat cities. But Daniel Penny's a hero, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Still indicted, grand jury, Alvin Bragg. And there's all kinds of issues today, too. You know, Tom Kniff sent me a flyer that a whole group of people are going to go to the court, not just today, but every day, to make his life and Daniel Penny's life miserable. Anyway, the attorney for Daniel Penny, the aforementioned Tom Kniff, of Kniff and Razor. He is set to join me coming up in about 20 minutes. Big guest today, Alan Dershowitz, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Dodgers-Yankees. That's Alan Dershowitz. He goes back to the Brooklyn days, of course, which all started back in 1941. And right now, while we love this guy, he is Mr. Red Apple himself. He's got two amazing shows on this station every week, 5 p.m. every weeknight alongside Rita Cosby. It's the Cats and Cosby Show, and his own tremendous show, 8 a.m. every Sunday morning, the Cats Round Table. He's my man, the great John Catsimatidis. John, good Monday morning, buddy. How are you?
Well, it's a great Monday morning. The sun is shining, and it's a beautiful fall day in New York. I could see the trees changing in Central Park, and
but by the way, but stop me for 1 second. You say it's a beautiful fall day in New York. Just for folks who haven't gone outside yet, it's going to be 80 degrees and sunny today. 80.
I know, but the trees are changing colors.
Yes, they are. Yes. The Palisades this time of year are gorgeous. And look, this is what happens as we move from October to November. You know what that means, John? What you just said. Tomorrow, 2 weeks, 15 days away from what most people call the most important election in our lifetimes. Now, you've been around a couple of years, John, a couple of years. Do you agree this is the most important election?
It's the most important election in the lifetime of the United States of America because there's so many things in action. I mean, the world is on the brink of war because of what's happening. The borders and our country is being invaded. And I'll tell you my thoughts on a Monday morning, 15 days beforehand. I don't think Joe Biden knows that 13,000 murderers have been let in to our country. You know, I think he just doesn't go up to his desk. But somebody, some political appointee, ordered federal agents not to do their job right. And some political appointee called those shots. And I think that's treason. When you let murderers in from other countries intentionally and knowing it is, that is treason. And I think the FBI has to handle it accordingly.
Yeah.
And any time in whether it's Washington or whether it's other areas of our country that you have political appointees giving orders to federal agents, whether it's border agents, FBI, or whatever, to do the wrong thing by Americans, that is treason. I don't know how else to say it. How else would you say it?
No, I agree. I think you've used the exact word. Treason is right. Now, look, he may or may not know, to your point, but you know what happens, John, like with a football team, right? It's not the coach's fault when the quarterback throws a bad interception. It's not the coach's fault when the defense gives up a big play. But guess what? The coach is the first guy to get fired because you're not going to fire all the players, and he's the face of the team. So that's Joe Biden. I mean, I don't know what he knows, what he doesn't know. Same thing with Kamala, but he's the face.
Well, Joe Biden, for all intents and purposes, is fired because his fellow Democrats orchestrated a coup and told him, if you don't leave quietly, if you leave quietly, we're going to make you a hero.
Right.
If you give us a problem, we are going to do whatever we have to do to get you out, and you'll be embarrassed.
In the meantime, he did leave quietly. He still is embarrassed. He hates everybody. They hate him. It's a mess.
But he realizes that.
Yeah.
And he realizes that what was done to him, and he is a very angry person, and he is angry at Kamala. He's angry at the whole Democratic establishment.
Obama.
And don't forget, Obama was calling that shot, too, I'm sure.
Yep.
But Obama is mad that he endorsed Kamala, Biden endorsed Kamala, because that wasn't what it was in his plans. What was in his plans? I have no clue.
No clue either. But, I got to tell you, and you can appreciate this, John, you're a multi-billionaire. You're a multi-billionaire. You're a regular guy. I know you for a long time now, a long time. I wouldn't know if you had $1 or $1 trillion. I wouldn't know. Here you get the Republican Party. What do you got yesterday? J.D. Vance is at a Green Bay Packer football game against the Houston Texans in Wisconsin, drinking beer with the fans. President Trump is handing out Big Macs in Pennsylvania. Then he also goes to an NFL game last night and watches the Pittsburgh Steelers host Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. These guys, they're so blue collar. I know they're billionaires, but they seem like everyday guys, don't they?
President Trump I could speak about because he grew up in Queens and he was on the construction jobs in New York City with his father. He dealt with all the unions. He dealt with all the construction workers and built a bunch of beautiful buildings. So he always dealt with people on the streets. He dealt with unions. He dealt with people on the streets. He knows what he's doing versus some of our other professional politicians. They don't know anything.
No, they don't.
But the other thing that's going on, I think we should establish a fund or something that, voter fraud, if it's happening, is very important. Mail-in ballots that are possibly fraudulent is important because I believe one American, one vote. What Gavin Newsom did on last week, he announced and signed an executive order that nobody better do not stop illegal or migrants or illegal voters from voting.
That's right.
I mean, what the hell is going on? And in Virginia, the Department of Justice sues Governor Youngkin in Virginia for not allowing migrants or illegal people to vote. I mean, what is going on?
No, it's crazy. So, look, I know that we don't necessarily buy into the station. We kind of shut it off about the 2020 election being rigged, and it kind of got ugly for both sides. But you're at least, at the very least, John Catsimatidis, and you're a smart guy, you're admitting that there is the possibility of voter fraud out there, and that becomes a huge issue for Donald Trump.
Maybe we should put out a reward, $10,000 for anybody that turns anybody in.
There you go. I love that because I agree with you. I do think that it's fraught with peril, the mail-in voting, the ballots, all that nonsense. One day, one vote, one person. I mean, I still know people that are getting these things to their house for their mothers and their fathers, John. They're long dead. They're dead for years. They're still getting ballots.
And that is a serious, serious problem. And Roger Stone, I was listening to his show last night, said, and he said of the Democrats, I tell you, 61 cases were thrown out from court on voter fraud in the 2020 election. But he'll also tell you, and you got to get a lawyer on, and that they were thrown out of court on technicalities, not on having. They did not have a court case and analyze and have an actual
That's right.
court.
That's right.
They were thrown out on technicalities. So everybody that says, "Oh, those were thrown out," they were not thrown out after a court case.
They never got to the court case. They never got that far.
The
Right.
judge threw them out on technicalities.
That's right. That's right. So last one.
Listen, what the truth is? I don't know what the truth is.
I don't know either. But I can tell you this truth. I can guarantee you this. That we talk about this every week because it's important. You know, we're caught up, obviously, in the election. We've got very important elections here, too. I know you know that, John. People like Mike Lawler in Rockland County, Anthony D'Esposito out on Long Island, Nicole Maliotakis, Mark Molinaro. The list goes on and on. Very important Tom Sullivan local elections. But I know this. I know it's another week. Another week goes by, and in my opinion, and you live here, I don't, I just work here, nothing is really improving in this city. What are your latest thoughts on New York City, the mayoral race, and what we're in store for right here in our own city?
Ask me on November 6th, but I'll get there. 1 second. I want to say about all our congressmen in New York that are running. Well, I'm going to talk to every voter out there and say, if you want more migrants in your city, if you want more murderers in your city, then, vote Democratic. If you want, return these guys to the GOP congressmen back to Congress. Otherwise, you know what happens? If the GOP loses a majority in Congress, all those investigations go bye-bye.
They're gone. Yep. That's a killer. That's a killer.
They're gone.
Yep.
Now you want to know about the city? I don't know. Ask me on November 6th if I'm running. I'll worry about that. But look what they want to do to Fifth Avenue, where I live. They want to turn 5 lanes into 3 lanes. What are they, crazy? And then Norm Layden yesterday was saying, "Oh, it might be nice for the pedestrians." He doesn't live here. I do. Tell him that.
He's listening right now. Of course, he lives in Jersey City. He doesn't care,
he
John.
lives in Jersey City, and he's telling me it's going to be okay to go down the 3 lanes on Fifth Avenue.
Well,
I mean, these politicians are crazy.
Oh, God, they are. They're making life really, really tough to live here in this city. But you stick it out, John. You're not going anywhere. You tell them, you're like the Israelis. I'm not going anywhere. That's it. I'm here to stay. So
I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. Sid, I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later.
John, great job. I love you, pal. Thank you. What a great appearance right there. That was great. He ain't going anywhere, and he can go anywhere. He can live anywhere he wants in the world, John Catsimatidis, but he is a through and through New Yorker. John Catsimatidis, 5 p.m. every weekday alongside Rita Cosby. That's the Cats and Cosby Show. And, of course, 8 a.m. every Sunday morning, the Cats Roundtable.
They don't call her confiscation Kamala for nothing. Don't take it from us.
And I support a mandatory buyback program.
A mandatory buyback program? That means the government forcing you to turn in your firearms. To what lengths would Kamala go? Well, she doesn't even support the individual right to own a firearm.
I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country.
We get it. Sometimes it's tough to understand what she's talking about. But on the Second Amendment and your rights, confiscation Kamala has been crystal clear. Her gun control agenda comes straight from that petri dish of bad ideas that is California. She can claim to be a gun owner all she wants, but we all know she's the same anti-gun California radical she's always been. Don't be left defenseless. Defeat confiscation Kamala. Vote Trump like your life depends on it, because it does. NRA Political Victory Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. NRAPVF.org.